an additional point in a physical, an additional point in mental, and remove a point in social. And since
Wow, thanks,
you only
guys.
have one spare point in social, you have to
All right,
take it in the
1 point in physical.
one physical, one
All right,
mental.
so I'll go up to 3 decks. 1 point in men. I'll go up. You know what? I'm gonna go a 5 in logic just for the heck of it.
Okay.
You
Okay.
know stuff.
I
So
know. Well, I've been at it a long time. I know stuff. All right.
Exactly. 40 years of experience.
you get something out of this. For the characteristics that got raised, you either take an additional negative feature or you subtract a positive feature. Since I'm guessing you probably want to keep that marksman and physical,
Yeah.
you're going to want to take an additional negative.
Yeah.
Maybe you could take a negative called I'm 2 days away from retirement.
Don't give a crap. We used to call that in the military ROAD, ROAD, retired on active duty.
Sure. So you get the same thing in mental. You can either remove a positive or add a negative. And you get the opposite in social. You lose your only spare point there, but you gain a extra positive feature or remove your negative feature.
Okay, I'm going to think about it.
Okay, so think about your features there. Let's move on to Dan. Tell us about your physical traits and then defend your choices.
3 and 3. Dexterity and vitality. I keep in pretty decent shape. I bike everywhere for the hell of it. I run the Army 10-miler every year. Pretty much, I don't get sick very often, and when I do, it's not very bad. I get like one cold a year, and that only puts me minorly out of commission for a couple days. But yeah, pretty average, I'd have to say.
And what were your numbers again? I'm sorry.
3 and 3.
3 and 3. Okay.
Send me your votes. For those wondering, my stats were 1-1, 5-3, 3-3. Yeah, got them snake eyes up front.
Hey, at least you're honest. So points to charisma, because you know.
Okay.
I just can't believe you guys knocked me down on charisma. That was mean.
Yeah, that was brutal, bro.
Well, like me personally, I like you. I'm pretty sure other people are probably not going to understand you because I'm a human behavior study,
Yeah.
so I get you as a person. But I don't
Right.
think other people would,
Yep.
because other people are stupid.
Let's
I've
talk about
always
mental.
been really super polar like that. But anyway, all right.
Mental stats. Defend your choices.
Logic and willpower, 4 and 2 respectively. I'm very, very smart. I like analytically think my way through problems a lot. I aced my AP Computer Science course. I used to be a computer engineering major before I switched to TV film. People still come to me with computer problems or just problems in general, and I am the technical manager for pretty much every single show.
So, what's interesting about this is last night I watched the pilot of Firefly again, and one of the first lines from Simon Tam, he's like, "I am very smart," and I'm always like, "What a jackass!" And then he's like, "I'm just telling you that so you know that my sister is so
Makes me
much
look-
smarter than me." And when you said that, I was like, "Flashback, yeah."
Yeah, willpower is a 2 because I have mental stuff that I'm going through, have been going through. Like, I don't know if it's even, like, it has been diagnosed in the past. I think I'm working through it, but I don't know about that.
Okay, all right. So you defended your choices. Let's hear from the people. Tell
And-
me
and
your
what-
thoughts.
And what were your numbers again?
Logic 4, willpower 2.
4 and 2. Okay.
Can he keep himself from trying to kill the captain?
Well,
It's a
you
whole
know.
different
Oh.
discussion.
Yeah.
You're. Oh. I'll put that for.
votes. These
I'll
fucking
put-
votes.
I'll put that as one of my negative traits. Can't stop myself from killing the captain.
Okay, let's talk about your social traits.
Deuces, charisma and empathy. I am well aware, and I've had it pointed out to me many times that, and I sometimes joke that I'm an android. Just, I don't know. I've always been a bit of a loner. It's cheesy to say, I know. And I don't think I get people or get social cues as well as I should. And yeah, people are dumb.
Good answer. So, let's get those votes, guys. Are people dumb? We'll find out. All this and more.
We're going to hear about it.
Dan, you undersold yourself or you oversold yourself on everything.
Okay,
Take
the votes are in. You need to lower one mental and raise one social.
Alright.
Hype is real.
What happened if everybody votes the same way? Do you get 2?
No, nothing
They're
happens.
Just okay.
Nothing. Oh, you mean everyone votes like everyone votes yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, then you get... It's not that you get more. Like, you could play this game with 6 people. It's just whether the majority vote.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. I just didn't know mechanically how it.
Okay.
I think I'll raise charisma. Lower willpower.
All right, and in the process of that, you must also take the appropriate feature reduction or additions.
So for reducing the mental, that's
You gain a
net one
positive.
positive. Net one
or
positive.
you remove your negative.
I came out even, so I don't have to worry about that, right?
Yeah, if you don't change anything, then nothing happens. And of course, you'll have to either give yourself an additional negative to social or remove your positive because your social went up. Right? That's what happened? Yes, your social went up. So that was interesting. I'm going to clear the chat real quick just to move those votes out of camera sight. Do not mind the continual rolling noise. So let's talk about features. I think you guys have been working on features. Those who just got their stuff probably had some thoughts in mind. Let's talk about them. Who's got what where?
Yeah, I'll go first. I have advanced marksman, and that is quite literally true. I've been shooting since I was probably 4 or 5 years old.
Okay.
And I've shot marksman in the military every time I've ever picked up a weapon. So,
I'm guessing that's your positive physical.
yep.
Okay.
Negative physical, bad knees.
Okay.
By the time I got out of the military, my knees were completely destroyed, and klutz.
Ah, your second negative. Okay. All right. What about some mental there?
Advanced programmer. For a positive, addictive personality. For a negative, I still have not decided on the second negative on mental because I'm not.
We got some
I
time.
haven't come up
Wait a
with
minute, we
anything.
need 2 like positives on each
No,
side.
only if you had a characteristic lowered, you get 2 positives.
Okay, gotcha.
So you don't have to worry about any of that because
Yay.
none of your stats stayed or moved. They all stay
Yeah.
the same.
And under social, I got for the negatives, suck it up. That's the best way I could think of to put it.
Wait,
So
didn't
we'll-
they? Oh, don't you have multiple positives, right? Because they lowered your social. So
Right.
You would get 2.
Oh, I don't have a
positives.
negative at all.
Right. You can
I could
remove
just
it if
get-
you want to. You can just
Nah.
have a positive. and
No,
have
that
negative.
belongs there.
Okay.
That belongs there.
So that's your negative, or is that your positive? It's hard to tell.
My negative is suck it up,
Okay. All right. Then you get
And-
2
and-
positives.
and my 2 positives are on the charisma side, trained as a military senior NCO, and on the empathy side, military training.
So I mean, they don't specifically attach to either your
Yeah, I know.
stats. They're just anytime on a social roll.
Yep.
All right. Dan, got anything you'd like to share about your features?
I've only picked two features: a positive feature for the mental analytic mind, and a negative feature for social that I aptly named "What's the opposite of Casanova?"
Wow, that's so good.
Nice.
Can't wait to see you hitting on the traffic lady trying to get off of Manhattan. All right, Dom, you got anything for us?
I'm almost done.
All right.
Actually, I think I misspelled one. My negative for physical, flat-footed. Can't help it, flat-footed.
Okay.
My positive for physical, I haven't rolled a positive for physical yet. My mental positive is technically sound, or textbook sound. Yeah, textbook sound sounds better.
Like,
Like
is that it? I'm confused.
like textbook sound, like it sounds good on paper, but will it really work on the field? You know what I mean? And my
Book
negative is
knowledge.
too many
Yeah, book knowledge sounds better. Yeah.
book knowledge.
Okay. That sounds good. Your negative is
Too many ideas.
okay.
Because the ADD, I pop up with too many ideas. That's like, okay, I could do this.
Well,
this,
maybe
this,
ADD
this,
would just
this.
be the better negative feature.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
ADD. Too many ideas.
And social?
Social, I'm pretty easygoing.
Okay.
My negative is I don't even know what that means.
I will accept that one. That's pretty good. I could see that happening a lot when someone tries to use slang on you. He's like, "Come on, bro, we need to stomp them Z's with our trenchies," and you're like, "I don't even know what that means."
I don't even know what that means.
You trying
Which
to
is true.
recruit me to go to a dance?
Like, I remember one time, my first year of college, someone was trying to sell me some weed in the hood, and I'm like, what? You want some of that nickel bad? What?
Don't even know what that means. All right.
I don't know what that means.
So while the players fill in their features, they've been doing this since I told them. You begin play in the end of the world with anything that's currently in the room or in the house with you on your equipment sheet that you feel that you can use. So I think it hyperlinks to page 27 through 29, where it gives you like a general idea of what you can use things for. So, for instance, cell phones aid in social roles, and if you have a cell phone, you guys are. I see a lot of programming type stuff from you guys, so you could use it to go on the internet and not necessarily hack things, but certainly look things up like maps or something like that. Jewelry, social. Textbooks, mental. Someone I was talking to on the forums also mentioned you could use them as a weapon. Because most textbooks are ridiculous.
Too heavy.
Guns get their own chapter. I don't see where they are here though. They might be further down. Oh yeah, they're on another page. Weapons are on page 29. And as you can see, for instance, pistol will give you one positive die because it's so accurate, but it only gives you +2 to damage when you hit. Single shot rifle gives you 2 positive dice, but +4 to damage. And shotgun gives you no dice to shooting, but +4 to damage. There's also resistance for armor. I don't think any of you are rocking a full bulletproof vest, although I guess Craig could, because he just retired from the military.
Yeah, that would probably get me put in jail. So
Okay. All right, you all have regular clothing then, which gives you a +0. So put down. I'm guessing you have a large improvised melee, which we will call disassembled mic stand, Dan.
All right.
Which gives you 1 negative die on attack, but a +4 to damage, so it hits like a shotgun.
Dude, tyrant bats. It's a small bat with a piece of metal in it.
So, if you guys just want to look over the equipment list from page 27 to page 29, and let me know when you've finished marking out your features. Now, again, not just the things that are listed here are equipment. Anything you can think of, let me know. that you think is useful, and we'll put it down there and figure out what stat it's related to. Now, don't take too much, because remember, you have to be able to carry all of this as well. And your carrying capacity is about a third of your body weight.
What if you put down the positive feature professional Sherpa?
I don't think you are a professional Sherpa, but let me know if you
I-
are.
If your Gorilla Joe partner was 300 pounds, you had to carry him around.
Like, that's the joking mention.
I think he
mentioned
was more than
earlier
that,
when
too.
If you
I-
lived your real life and you were a professional Sherpa, I would allow this.
well, I did have to carry heavy camera equipment over long distances and juggle 15 different mic apparati. Today, even. So, I'll put professional in big sarcasm quotes.
Well, don't put Sherpa. Why don't you put specialized equipment manager?
Under physical?
Yeah, why not? Specialized equipment manager. That way, when you guys come up on something like, I don't know, a chainsaw, you could be like, I know how to use this. I have specialized equipment manager.
Not gonna believe what's actually sitting right here behind me because I'm in the process of repacking it.
It's your Z survival kit. What is that? I see orange.
That's my go. That's my first aid kit.
Your go bag?
It's my go bag.
Yep.
Rope, hammock, rainfly, Camp X. Actually, just bought a brand new backpack in the process of putting it together again.
So I think for physical, you could put down survival pack and then list the axe and your medical kit each as additional physical objects.
Okay.
I think first aid kit lets you helps you on removing stress, which we'll talk about.
No, I regret not using me now because I actually know medical stuff now.
Oh, look at that. Oh, there's not many people that regret, lots of people are like, I wish I was back 10 years ago so I could make different decisions. Not many people are like, I wish I was me now.
Because I forgot I'm a pharmacy tech. I know the human body now. I know what to give them and what to do stuff and how to do first aid now because I just took the classes. Which I took first aid in high school and I know basic CPR, but not that in depth now. It's like curses.
This little thing, what would this be?
Probably a small improvised weapon. I mean, how real of a knife is
Well,
that?
pocket knife.
Looks like a
It's a
box
rate.
cutter.
It is a box cutter, but
box
you've
cutter
seen
knife.
I would say
assume you've
small
watched.
bladed melee. Yeah.
I assume you've watched Breaking Bad.
No, I actually haven't.
Ooh, Gustavo Fring.
Good show.
I think it's the end of season 1. He's standing in his underwear, like he was in the very first part.
Yep.
That's as far as I got.
Saw entirely too much of him in his
Gustavo
underwear.
Fring. I'm just gonna say the episode entitled "Box Cutter."
So what I want to mention is there was a crossover where they did Downton Abbey doing Breaking Bad. I think it was called Breaking Abbey. It was fucking hilarious. He's like, "My lord, there's a Mr. Spider to see you." And he's like, "Have we created enough of the blue for him? They all go batshit over my Earl Grey." So good. Check it out. Google it. Breaking Abbey. So while we're doing equipment and supplies, don't forget we do need to round off features.
Need to what?
Features for anybody that hasn't got all of them
Oh, okay.
finished up yet.
I think I'm just gonna keep analytic mind and what's the opposite of Casanova for my mental and social,
Okay.
and for physical, just corrective lenses and specialized equipment manager.
Ooh, corrective lenses. That's a good one. I think I could bring that into play a lot.
It's on my driver's license,
Excellent.
and I have my glasses with me at all
Oh
times.
yeah, my physical I decided to go with basic first aid because that's what I was going to go into, first aid or engineering if I were to go in the military.
I don't know that that's a physical feature, right? It's not something that defines you physically, your knowledge of first aid.
Keeps me healthy. Trying to think of a good physical one.
I would.
Thor-
I mean, I would put that under intellect, right? That sounds more like a mental. I mean, physical is mostly related to your body, and
Durable, there we go, because I already fell off my
durable.
house.
That sounds good. Yeah,
Because I fell off my house like 3 times and just walked it off.
durable sounds pretty good, especially with your high endurance.
Dude, my family is very... Except for my mom, because she broke the one rule. We don't skate.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
All right.
Bicycle's fine.
Does everyone have all of their features then?
Yeah, I took OCD for my last mental one.
All right. Then let's store away the equipment. We'll push that aside for the moment. We'll come back to it. Now we're talking traumas. So if you guys don't have a trauma that you would like to share, let's say you have one and you don't want to share it, don't feel like you have to. Let me read it here. GM should make it clear to all players you are not expected to include traumas you would prefer to keep private or that would spoil your enjoyment of the game. If you have one that you would like to add, you may. For instance, do you have a twisted ankle? Are you exhausted from too many late night shifts? Did you just suffer from a bad breakup? You do not have to start with a trauma if you do not want to.
And what effect does the trauma have?
So, if you have multiple traumas, you slowly move closer to death. I think it's if you have 3 traumas and then you take a 4th, you die.
Wow.
We'll go
So
into it more in depth, but when you have stress, so when you take damage to one of your stats, I think on the character sheets you guys can see that there's 3 tiers of 3 boxes, so there's 9 boxes. When you reach 9 in one of those stats, so let's say physical, that represents you basically being on the verge of death. You can turn that into a trauma, and that would be a severity 3 trauma because it's in the 3rd tier. And that would be your way of avoiding death, basically. And you remove stress by taking 5 minutes to sit down, analyze your problem, and say, this is my trauma. So you sit down and say, wow, I got the crap beaten out of me in that last fight. My ankle is twisted. And you're, if you have 3 damage, then you have a severity 1 trauma called broken ankle. So mechanically, traumas only hurt you. Yes. So
Okay.
if any of you have a trauma you would like to share, you can. Mechanically, it's a bad idea to share them.
So can you
Probably not.
have 3 severity 3 traumas, or is it
Yes, in
before
the
dying?
same category. Yes.
Oh, okay.
We'll
So
talk
if you
about it.
have,
We'll talk about
So-
it when we get there. Yeah.
you can theoretically have up to 3 severity.
I have a
3,
question.
9 severity 3.
Like, technically, high heights make me uneasy, but if I had to get on a plane, it doesn't bother me. If I had to ride a
that-
roller coaster with a girlfriend, it doesn't bother me. I'm not sure.
No, that's not a trauma. That would be like me getting on an aircraft because I'm like, well, given at this height, falling at 500 feet a second, I would probably have enough time to call my mom, tell her I love her, and maybe record an outgoing voicemail telling everyone to fuck themselves before I hit the ground.
No, it's like, it makes me uneasy, though, but it doesn't, like, it's like one of those things that's like, I can't do anything about it, so might as well move
That
on.
doesn't sound like a trauma.
Okay.
Okay, so we did features. It sounds like we've covered most of equipment and supplies. We've done weapons. Now let's talk about stress. So stress is the damage and strain you undergo. Stress in physical is cuts and bruises, twisted ankles, broken bones, and other physical damage. Mental stress represents psychological strain, shock from traumatic events, and general damage to your mental health. Lastly, social stress represents anxiety, damage to your trust in others, and an increasingly bitter attitude. Stress is tracked numerically in a set of boxes called the stress track. If you're following along on the PDF, by the way, we're on page 30. I just realized I completely forgot
Page-
that.
Page 30.
Yep. The more stress you endure in a category, the more resistance you build up to it for further strength. So, for instance, if you have a 2nd tier box already filled in, and you're going into the 3rd tier, you have 2 resistance because you've already got 2 tiers filled out. So, in order to damage you, you'd have to take at least 3, and you'd get 1. So, stress also acts as a type of armor. If all 9 boxes in a category are full, you immediately die or experience a serious trauma. Stress comes from 2 sources: performing difficult or dangerous tasks and experiencing traumatic events When you make a test, you gain a number of stress points equal to the negative dice left in the pool. The stress is taken in the category matching the characteristic for the test, obviously. The other main cause of stress are traumatic events brought about by outside sources. Examples include being attacked by an opponent with a horrifying weapon, witnessing a horrifying sight, being betrayed by a trusted friend. The GM basically dictates if that happens. Recovering from stress. Stress is not readily healed. Stress is an abstract level of damage. Reduce stress, you need to diagnose the problem and realize how it is affecting you. By spending a short time analyzing how it has affected you, you convert the stress into traumas. This removes the stress from that track but gives you a trauma in the same category. Traumas hurt your performance by adding negative dice to the task you attempt. However, they can also be cured over time. We dealt with resistance, and now we're on to death. If you have enough stress to fill the stress track, you die. That's it. If you have 3 traumas of any severity in a category and cannot take on additional traumas, you cannot cling to life. You die. Whenever you completely fill a stress track, you don't necessarily have to die, but you cling to life by making a test using the defensive stat in which you suffered the stress. If you succeed, you are removed from play in a way appropriate until you have So you're removed from play temporarily. You take a severity 3 trauma, and you remove all stress, except you leave the tier 1 in. We can get to that later. Anyway, we covered acquiring traumas. You recover from them by taking time to deal with them. So severity 1 trauma, you have to spend an entire day dealing with it. So if you had severity 1 called broken ankle, or let's say bruised rib, you would spend 1 day getting medical treatment, doing nothing else, and you would take away that trauma. Severity 2 is a week, and severity 3 is 1 month. I think we're ready to get started, because everything else is kind of stuff you would already know from pretty much any RPG. There's no rolling for initiative. I basically narratively decide which group surprises the other, or which group will act first. It's almost always going to be in favor of the attackers, obviously, because the person attacking is going first. You get 1 movement action, then 1 free action, and 1 attacking action during combat. It's that easy. So, let us begin then. Let me get to the scenario we're playing. You are in Atlantic City, New Jersey. It is 2016. It's when is Labor Day? Shit. March, right?
I'll look it up real quick.
First Monday in December or September.
September. No, what's the other one? When did
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day? Is that the one that's also a Monday?
That is the one in May.
May. Okay, so it's May 2016. This is not Fate, Jim. And welcome, Sock. I'm sorry, I actually wasn't checking chat. Now I feel like a jackass. This is a game called The End of the World. Just came out. You are attending ArthurCon, which is run by me in 2016, after I become a famous internet superstar. And it's at the Atlantic City Convention Center. I'm there with you guys. I'm an NPC. Isn't that nice? I'm like, hey guys, welcome to ArthurCon. We're on Sunday, which is, the second to last day. And, we've just had our game of The End of the World. This very RPG, we're playing it in the game. And as we're coming away outside of the Atlantic City Convention Center, and because you guys have your cell phones and everything, you guys can even look up maps of Atlantic City right now and see where we're currently at.
So we're
and
not
just so
our
you
house
know,
for our
I
stuff.
will mention it. Our hotel is on Brigantine Island. It's the Legacy Beach Resort, and we have the entire penthouse suite to all the people that I've run games for over the last 2 years. So that's where we're hanging out. And, we come out of the Atlantic City Convention Center, and some guy starts lurching toward us. You know, he's got like pale skin, he's sweating all over the place. And one of the security officers is like, "You okay, buddy?" And the dude starts throwing up in front of him. What do you guys do?